Today let's start with hydrocarbons, carbon and its compounds of standard 10th. So why we call them as hydrocarbons? As the compounds are made up of carbon and hydrogen, so we call them hydrocarbon. Now hydrocarbons are of two categories. They are saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. If there is single bond between carbon and carbon atom, so as I told, they are made up of mostly carbon and hydrogen. So if there is single bond between carbon and carbon, we call it as saturated hydrocarbon. If there is double bond or triple bond, we call it as unsaturated hydrocarbon. Now coming to the general formula, for saturated hydrocarbon, general formula is CnH2n plus 2, where N stands for number of carbon. For alkene, it is CnH2n, and for alkyne, it is CnH2n minus 2. Alkane, An is there representing single bond. For alkene, if En is there, represents double bond. And if Yn is there, alkyne, it represents triple bond. Now here, depending on the number of carbon atom, different prefix are used. If suppose one carbon is there, we call it as meth derivative. For 2, eth. For 3, prop. For 4, but. For 5, pent. For 6, hex. For 7, hept. Then we add the suffix ane if single bond is there between carbon-carbon. If there is double bond, we add ene. If there is triple bond, we add ine. So the complete name for single bond, one carbon, it will be methane. Methane is the only member where single bond is there. There are no double bond and triple bond derivatives, because for double and triple bond, at least 2 carbons are needed. But in methane, only 1 carbon is there. So this is one of the important topics you need to remember. Now coming to the structure, how we are going to write them. If suppose it is methane, we need to remember like carbon is having valency 4. So we need to satisfy its 4 valency. That if we are satisfying with hydrogen as their hydrocarbons, we call it as meth, depending on carbon, meth, and as all single bonds are there, ane. Now if suppose double bond is there, first we need to count out number of carbon. So here 2 carbons are there, so we call it as eth. Then next we need to balance out with valencies. Here 2 carbon are there, 2 bonds are there, so we'll make it 4. Count and make 4. So now it has got 4 bonds, so this rest we satisfy with hydrogen. Already 2 got satisfied with carbon, so rest 4 we are satisfying with hydrogen. 2 carbon are there, so we call it as eth, ane, and then double bond is there, so we'll replace this with eth, ene. Now coming to triple bond, if there is triple bond, we call it as ine. As double bond, the 2 carbons are there,